Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today, I'm excited to tell you I'm going to be breaking down my first 1.0 mock draft for the NFL this year. There's going to be no trades. It's just going to be how the order is. No trades, just who I think. It's not even just my big board. It's not who I think is just the best. I just think it's who fits and who makes sense for teams at certain picks. So Jacksonville has the first overall pick. They're likely to go defensive end. It could be Trayvon Walker. It could be Aiden Hutchinson. It could be Kayvon Thibodeaux. We never know. But I think that they're going Aiden Hutchinson. He fits their needs. He's a strong, athletic pass rusher. Showed his skills really last year mainly. Like he had 10 plus sacks. I don't quote me on that. But number 2, I've got the Detroit Lions. Now I think the Lions are not likely to draft a quarterback with number 2 because this year's just straight up a weak quarterback class. So I've got him picking Trayvon Walker, the same position as Aiden Hutchinson, a defensive end. But I picked him because he has a very big upside as a pass rusher. He's been very he's had some athleticism in his pass rushing. I think he might be a little bit of a reach, but it's the Detroit Lions, so we never know what's going to happen. Number 3, I've got the Houston Texans picking Kyle Hamilton. He's my favorite player in the draft. I think he could definitely have upside as the best player in this draft, and he looks a lot like a Derwin James. Huge, big-time playmaker. He's proven that he can run across the field, pick the ball off when the pass is already in the midair. So he's got very good ball hawking skills that can bring a lot to Houston Texans defense. That can absolutely help their offense out a lot. Sounds a little weird, but with the New York Jets' 4th pick, it's another defensive pick, 4 in a row. In fact, at least 4 in a row. So I've got 4 in a row, and it's going to be Kayvon Thibodeaux, defensive end of Oregon. He's got huge upside. He's got like Von Miller upside to me. He can be a spectacular pass rusher in my opinion. I see his athleticism every time I watch. Now there is some issues with his injury history and his endurance, but I think he could definitely be number 2. But I think the Lions will likely go different. So Jets get a good pick in number 4 with Kayvon Thibodeaux. Another defensive player. All right, we've got a cornerback from Cincinnati, Ahmad Gardner. It fits a Giants' need. Ahmad Sauce Gardner is he's a lockdown corner. He has number 1 corner potential for sure at number 5. And it really helps him out a lot on defense. With number 6, I've got Carolina picking Kenny Pickett, quarterback for Pittsburgh. I think this will get some looks in the comments, but I've got this because Carolina needs a win now quarterback. He's got the relationship with Matt Rule, the Carolina Panthers head coach, and quite frankly, it's a pick that's kind of meant not for 2022, but it's meant for 2023. As in 2022, first-year quarterbacks never really do very good. Second-year quarterbacks, they sometimes make big jumps, and I expect Kenny Pickett to help them out as soon as he gets into the league. Number 7, I've got the Giants again picking an offensive lineman, Ikem Ekwonu. Huge need for Giants to protect Daniel Jones, as they're going to be riding him out for one more year. I don't expect him to go crazy for a quarterback early. In fact, I don't see him picking a quarterback in the entire draft, as I see them trying to figure out Daniel Jones for one more full year. Number 8, I've got a very interesting one, and I think he could fall. He could go number 2. He could go 20, and this is Malik Willis. I've got this to Atlanta because I've seen people talking about how Marcus Mariota can be the starting quarterback. But look, I think he can be the starter for 1 year, and then his second year, since he signed a 2-year contract, can be a backup and give some pointers to Malik Willis. He has a somewhat similar play style as he is a mobile quarterback. Malik Willis has a much stronger arm, but Mariota can help him in a way that try to make him not what Mariota was. Like, he was a decent quarterback for the Titans. He kind of fell off, really. He was good first couple years, and then he didn't show much after that. Number 9, I've got the Seattle Seahawks picking Evan Neal, Alabama offensive tackle. And look, this is the reason that Russell Wilson ultimately went to the Denver Broncos. Offensive line was horrendous. He has a lot better of a chance winning now in Denver, and I don't blame him for leaving the Seahawks. So this is a smart pick for Seattle. Not sure if they'll do it, but it could definitely benefit them. Number 10, I've got the New York Jets selecting Garrett Wilson, the first receiver going off this board, and he's very reliable. He showed that for Ohio State. I think it'll very benefit Zach Wilson a lot, as he's got wide receiver 1 potential early in his career, I believe. At number 11, I've got the Washington Commanders picking Drake London. I think he's probably one of the higher upside receivers in this draft, even though there's a lot of them. But I pick him because he does it all at a good level. He can pick the ball out of the air. He's fast. He's athletic. He does it all. He proved that at USC. I think he can also do that alongside Terry McLaurin for Washington. Number 12, I've got somebody who falls to. This is my player this year's draft that falls, and it's going to be Derek Stingley Jr. But I think it's a good pick. It's a really good pick for Minnesota. I'm not sure if he's going to be a good player in the NFL, but it looks like a steal right now. I'm not very high on him. I think that he's a decent corner in this league. I'm not sure he can be a corner 1, at least year 1. But it fits their needs. He was the best available at this time, in my opinion. At least how it looked. I'm not sure if that's how it'll play out in the NFL. I don't actually think so. I just think that that's kind of how it looks as a pick, which is why I have him right here. So, defensive tackle Jordan Davis is going to Houston, pick number 13, in my opinion. He shows a lot in me of. He shows a lot of. What would you say? Chris Jones in me. He shows power, speed. Very good defensive tackle. He's got huge upside. He can definitely be a massive player in the NFL. Number 14, I've got the Baltimore Ravens selecting George Karlaftis, defensive end for Purdue. Yet another defensive end, but he showed a lot for Purdue, and I think he can show a lot from Baltimore as well. Pick number 15 is the Philadelphia Eagles selecting Jermaine Johnson, as he's got big pass rushing upside, and that could be very beneficial for the Eagles. I got the the Saints picking Charles Cross, another offensive tackle, a big need for or New Orleans, as it can be the replacement of Teron Armstead after he left to go to the Miami Dolphins. It can be a cheaper option, and it can also fill in pretty well, I believe. 17 is an interesting one. This one makes the Chargers very hard to stop on the defensive side. I've got them picking Jameson Williams at number 17. I find this crazy. I think he's really good. He only falls this far for me because of his injury, and he adds a lot of explosiveness alongside Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, which is much needed because those guys are more physical and reliable, but they need somebody who can help stretch out the field, which is Jameson Williams when he comes back from injury. I've got the Eagles at 18 picking Devin Lloyd, a linebacker who rightfully could have gone higher on my board. I think I'm really high on him. Devin Lloyd showed a lot at Utah. He shows a lot like an old school. He shows like he can tackle. He run stops. He's got coverage skills. He's good for Philadelphia. Number 19, I've got the New Orleans Saints again, picking Chris Olave with this pick, and it could be a duel of wide receivers from Ohio State, but more importantly, he can be a very good wide receiver too, to pair with Michael Thomas, assuming they don't move him because he has been injured very often. And it could be a risk, as he has not Michael Thomas shown that he's been bad at ever, but then again, every year he's played, he's had Drew Brees, which is very reliable. But I think that him and Michael Thomas, having them both on the field this year can be huge for Jameis Winston, and I think Jameis Winston after this year, he'll have some good looks. I think after this year, if they get Chris Olave, I think they're going to look really good. I think they're going to look like a potential sleeper contender at the wide receiver position. Can help out Jameis Winston, and the pick with Charles Cross can help him with protection. Number 20, I've got Tyler Linderbaum, the center from Iowa for a minute. I picked him for the Vikings, and I think he has got big time. He can be a big time player in this league. I think he's going to be the Creed Humphrey of this draft. People have said that. I'm not sure if that's going to be true, but I do think it's going to be true. So number 21, I've got Trent McDuffie for the New England Patriots. And I think it's a very smart pick for Bill Belichick to replace J.C. Jackson, and I think that it's just I think he's the guy for him to pick here, with a couple of the big guys coming off the board earlier. We knew they were going to, just not sure of how early, but I think that Trent McDuffie makes sense here for New England at 21. 22, I've got Green Bay picking Treylon Burks, and he can definitely fill in for Devontae Adams with Aaron Rodgers being his quarterback. I think he has he's got big play potential. He reminds me kind of as they kind of used him how the 49ers used Deebo Samuel. They kind of used Arkansas used Treylon Burks like that. They gave him, no matter how they tried to give him the football, and that'll help out. If they do that in Green Bay, somewhat to a limited amount, that'll really help them out, as he could definitely walk in there and be their number one receiver right away. Number 23, I've got Arizona picking Devontae Wyatt, a defensive tackle for Georgia, and he could definitely play wherever he can definitely play Chandler Jones' position. now that he's gone to the Las Vegas Raiders. Number 24, I've got Dallas picking Kaiir Elam, and he can be a definitely good corner number 2 for them, as I think it makes sense for him to pair somebody who can lock down receivers, to pair him with Trayvon Diggs, who picks the ball off. As long as he can up his coverage skills, then they'll be good. Number 25, I've got Buffalo picking Andrew Booth Jr., a Clemson corner. He shows a lot. He can lock down receivers. He's got good ball skills, and I think this makes sense as Buffalo needs more help in their secondary to pair with their good safeties, but they need another corner. Number 26, I've got the Titans picking tackle Trevor Penning. I think that they do this because they have missed on tackles in the past, but they need to keep trying until they finally get one, because it's probably the most important position in football, the tackle, and I think it makes sense for Tennessee at number 26. Zion Johnson to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers could be a good replacement on the offensive line, as I can't remember. Was it Alex Kappa? I think he retired early unexpected, but he can fill in really nicely, and he's a very good modern offensive lineman in this year, because he's smaller, he's got very quick feet, but he's also got some run backing ability, as he's a very good pass blocking guard. I've got the Packers again I've got them picking at 28 again with Boye Mafe, a defensive tackle. I think this makes sense to help them boost out, because they have good pieces, but they need more to help round out that defense. I've got Kansas City picking Logan Hall, and I think this makes sense to pair with Chris Jones, defensive tackle-wise, and they pick again at 30. They go with somebody who has really skyrocketed up boards, as Christian Watson, receiver, and he's gonna probably be a decent fill-in for Tyreek Hill. There's no way he's gonna be as good, but I do think he can do pretty well in the Kansas City air raid deep pass system. Toward 31, I've got the Cincinnati Bengals picking Quay Walker out of Georgia. I think he's got big upside, as he can definitely help them on the defensive side of the ball. Here is a surprise of the draft. I've got the Lions picking Matt Corral. And this is why I passed on a quarterback, Malik Willis, at number 2, who was the only person I was really considering. But I think they've gone Matt Corral because he's got a massive arm. He makes all the throws. He's got somewhat decent mobility. And I think this is also a somewhat good pick value, as earlier he was a top 20 he was a top 25 guy in some people's boards and picks. He's fallen a little bit, but I think the Lions can scoop him up either here or number 2 in the second round. So yeah, the second round's going to be maybe even as interesting. So we are going to have more coverage on that, most likely. In fact, that will probably be our last mock draft, but we'll probably have one more updated next week, and then we'll have one the week before the draft, and then one final one the day before the draft will be the rounds 1 and 2 draft. The next one will be my 2.0, and then by 3.0 will be rounds 1 and 2, with maybe even a trade slid in. So see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed this NFL content recently. I would like to ask you guys at the end of this video, would you rather me do more NFL stuff, do that full time, or would you rather me go into mixing everything up and doing like some things, doing some multiple things, or just one different thing. Let me know. See you guys in the next one. Bye.